What's up, everybody? I've been doing a lot of pruning here recently. When I first started out, it was very confusing to me on what to do, what to take, what not to take. I don't have it all down now. Here's some simple tips when you're reducing a tree or pruning a tree. I've been working in a lot of subdivisions doing yard trees, not super big, maples, red maples, magnolias, all kinds of stuff, crab apples, a lot of stuff. It was very confusing to me when I started out what to take and what not to take and what was a good cut versus a bad cut. So what I did was I read up on the cuts. There's a pruning fundamentals book that I recommend. There's some ISA books out there. Lindsay Purcell is an awesome resource if you ever get a chance to see him speak. He did a talk at this recent TCIA about what are the proper reduction cuts to mitigate risk. That was a really good class. The more you educate yourself on these topics, the better off you'll be. And then sometimes there's a difference between what happens in the books and what happens in the real world. And that's kind of the point of this channel and why I'm here, to kind of be the catalyst between the real world and make-believe. That's probably not right, between the real world and literature, because they don't always cross over. So what I'm doing here is this magnolia structure pruning within the tree, as well as a 25% reduction thinning, and all that in conjunction is no more than 25% of the tree that's coming out, because you want to see how the tree responds to these cuts, and if it responds good, you can do the next and the same in the 1 to 2 years. Staying in that 25% range helps benefit the tree, so you're not taking too much and could potentially harm the tree. Also, pruning when the tree is dormant is another big factor in introducing diseases and pathogens to the tree that may kill it. That's why it's best to prune your trees in the winter. And this is all from stuff I've read and experienced in real life. Pruning videos are not the most entertaining, but that's really what I was looking for when I got on YouTube. So when I first started getting into tree work, I had a hard time finding anything on pruning. I guess I just didn't know where to look. So I made bad cuts on trees and I learned from that. But I'd like to get this out in front of somebody so maybe they don't have to make those bad cuts or have tear outs or anything like that. When you're pruning a tree, you kind of want to avoid a tear out, and the way you can do that is the 3-cut method or other ways that you pick up along the time doing it. It's harder to do with a pole saw. Pole saw work is not the most entertaining, so please bear with me here. Another thing with pruning is the 1/3 rule. Taking branches back to a lateral that is at least 1/3 the diameter of the original branch. So you don't want to take a branch back to a lateral that is smaller than 1/3 of the branch, because potentially the branch isn't going to be able to push nutrients all the way to the top and it will die back. I guess, if that makes sense. So you'll get dieback in whatever you cut that's past the 1/3. If this is helpful, put it down in the comments. If it's not, if it seems preachy, put that down in the comments. But that's not what's going on here. I'm just trying to spread some knowledge, because not everybody can learn from reading a book. I mean, I can barely even read myself. So this is just another medium to pass knowledge.
We're on a residential job today, pruning back a magnolia, doing some seasonal pruning and rejuvenation, picking some end weight reduction off of a gutter, and doing some dead wood. Stay tuned. I got some cool pruning things. Prune and grab or something like that.
FYI, the pruning grab is a no-go from your boy. It's just not what an arborist needs. Clown on me all you want. I need dexterity with a little bit of warmth, and that'll get it done. You ever have one of those days when it takes you like 30 minutes to set a line and you almost pull every single one of your hair fibers out? Yeah, that's me. So I wanted to take a second and talk about good cut, bad cut here. Kind of these 1/3 and things like that I'm talking about. Let me see if I can find it here. So this is, here's the 1/3 cut, and then there's the branch going off of it. You want to make your cut even with the branch collar, but not into the branch collar. Here's an example of a less desirable cut. This is an undesirable cut. See how the branch has died back until the next piece that is at least 1/3 protruding out of it. I don't know if that makes sense, or you can even see it from here. Okay, so this branch is all dead, but it's only dead until the first piece that's 1/3 of the diameter of the size of it that the tree can push nutrients to. So this is example. So this would be an example of an undesirable cut. See all this dead? See all this dead here? That leaves more pathways in for diseases for trees and insects and critters to live. I don't know if you can see it on there. So that would be an example of a bad cut. On this cut over here, there's a lot less material for stuff to get in, and the branch can heal it faster. It doesn't have to try to close all that up, and it won't take as long. There's also an example of a cut. See how it's even with the branch collar, but not into the branch collar. I usually lean on the side of leaving things a bit proud instead of a bit in. And then here's another example. Sometimes with pruner heads, you can't get all the way in. Like this could be in a little bit more, but due to the nature of the piece of equipment you're using, it's a little bit limited and you can't get all the way in like you'd want to, but that's an example of a halfway decent cut. Here I'm just taking a step back and walking around the tree and looking at the canopy from all angles. When you're doing a tree like this, it's important to walk around the tree for all angles, because one side may look different than the other, and that can be hard to deal with once you get something all done and you think it's all done, and you don't look at it from all sides, and then the customer points out, well, from the back side it looks lopsided. That's not really what you want. So it's important to take a step back and look at what's going on. This is how I stow my pole pruning heads. Just wraps around the spring head and the nut down there, and then just finish it off like this so it all stows nice and neat. I've had way better luck running the Jameson pruner heads and pole saws rather than the Notch Marvin brand. It just seems like the Jameson sets are put together a little bit better. If you're new to pruning and want to get into it, I would suggest buying a saw pruner head combo. If you have the option, get the bigger head. It may not seem like an inch or a half an inch is that big of a deal. When you're pruning some of these limbs, it makes a big difference. You can find them at most ARB sites. Usually with those combos, you'll get 3 6-foot sticks and a pruner head and a saw head. And that's about the most cost-effective way you can do it. If you buy all the pieces individually, it costs a lot more. It's always really good to take all this stuff inside when you're done with it, because if you leave it outside, it'll rot and get all nasty and rusty. With that saw pruner combo, you usually don't get this scabbard for the saw. I would purchase this as well, just to guard the blade a little bit better, because what you get with it is a cloth scabbard, and it's really like not the best. I would spend the extra money and get a scabbard like that. This is my favorite so far. You can run the hook on the inside or the outside. I like it better on the outside. I just wanted to try it on the inside for this. This is the longer 13-inch one. You can get a shorter one. I have both. They all have different applications. Kind of wanted to share that if anybody's looking for recommendations. It's probably the last climb of the year. It's getting dark. Maybe I'll have a chance to get out tomorrow. I don't know. I didn't really get a lot of time today. We're growing like crazy. It's awesome, the people who are willing to help and talk to you and kind of share their experience with you. That's kind of really what we're after here. So thank you to everyone who's been a part of this channel this year. I really appreciate it, and it means a lot to me. It's getting dark. I'm up this white oak. I'm not very far up. I just made a couple cuts. I wanted to get more done in this thing today than I have, but everybody, every year is new year, new me. And if that's your thing, that's your thing. I'm going to keep on the grind, keep doing what I'm doing. The mission's still the same. We're sharing information, helping each other out, making this world a better place, being nice to one another instead of saying nasty things in the comments. So we're going to keep it clean. I hope everybody has a wonderful 2024. It's been an incredible year. I just got off the phone with a really cool tree dude. I'm just happy for the folks that come here and spend time here, and the ones who have subscribed. I mean, it really helps us out. I'm working on trying to make more entertaining long format videos. It's not the long format video editing isn't my strong suit, but I'm pulling through. I'm trying to make some halfway decent videos. I'm going to be doing a top handle shootout here pretty soon. Also going to be doing, there's big things in the works here. So before it gets too dark, I'm going to come out of this white oak. I just wanted to say thank you for everything in 2023, and we're going to have a crazy 2024. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Have a good one.